Hey, gearheads. It's Jeff here with boy, I am going to have trouble running the show tonight if I can't get a sentence out. It's Jeff here with This Week at Gear Report, the show where we talk about everything we published since the show, same time last week, and new things we have coming, and then the ever popular shit shooting portion of the show that will come later, where we just kind of talk about current events and everything that's going on. And you know what? I actually kind of like the way that is framed now. I usually have the camera down a little lower so you can't see that white line, but you know what? I'm going to roll with it. Has me sitting in a little better position. I think it bothers TJ when he's here if I'm up a little too high and it's like, like I'm trying to establish dominance, but that's not the case. flyingRich here with the appropriate number of yos once again. Very much appreciated. Thanks for being here. And tell you what, speaking of TJ, things are always a little sketchy when I am left unsupervised to run the show by myself. TJ is probably at his adult kickball league again, because that is a thing and it's not something that we take lightly or is to be mocked or made fun of or in any way thought of as less than 100% a serious sport. Okay, that is my story and I'm sticking to it. So I thought he said the playoffs were last week. I don't know. Maybe he's just blowing us off tonight. So I see a few people are showing up out there on YouTube and Facebook. Rich said hi. Anyone else, if you want to, I should probably bring the mic up here. Anyone else, if you want to quit making stuff up. Well, when I'm here by myself, I tend to ramble and I do make things up at times, but at least I try to disclose that in the interest of being honest. If you're out there, we don't know you're there unless you say something to let us know. So please don't be shy. Leave a comment. If you like what we're doing here, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down is fine too. We just want you to be honest. Okay, that is our goal. Honesty is the best policy. I think the folks at Riton Optics agree with that. And that may be part of why they decided to be a sponsor of This Week at Gear Report. I don't know. In all fairness, I just made that up. Riton Optics never said anything about that. So obnoxious one with 2 yos. Clearly, we already discussed yo, yo, yo. 3 is the appropriate number of yos. But, maybe he has another yo on the way. Maybe he's still typing. Okay. How do I do that? I think flyingRich is asking to tag in here. I'm going to copy the link, and I believe he sent me a note while I was driving today. So let me see if I can figure out where that was. Oh, TJ says working on it, technical difficulties. That sounds ominous. So hopefully he will be able to find us shortly or figure that out at least. And I know I have a means of connecting with flyingRich to send the link, but I'm not sure where that is. So tell you what I'm going to do. Instagram. Okay. Yeah, I'm slow and I'm bouncing back and forth between screens here, so bear with me. All right, my fancy laptop holder to get my laptop up in the appropriate position, which is obviously a Vortex Optics. What is it? It's the 1:10. 1:10 by 24 Razer HD Gen 3. It's their new LVPO. And yet again, filling in as a laptop stand because I haven't decided which rifle to put that on. Okay, that would have been in here. Would it? That would be in here. All right, bear with me, folks. It's pretty well established that my competence level is never really that good, but trying to figure out how to send a message in Instagram seems to be vexing me at the moment. that be here? That should be in here, wouldn't it? I can't find it. All right, I heard a ding. That would be TJ. TJ can entertain us. Yo-yo is a product. That is true. I had not noticed that. So good to see you, TJ.
Yeah. Had a little issue with the computer.
Yeah. You're a tech wizard. How could that be a problem?
I know. It was rebelling against me.
Yeah. Okay. I see what the issue was. I was looking for something that said Flying Rich. He sent something from his real name. And I did not see that initially because I was looking for Flying Rich. All right, so that's been sent. So Rich can tag in if he wants to. And by the way, I saw that note while I was driving. Today, I did another round of driving to. Actually, we didn't go to the set today. Last time, when Netflix rented one of my portable castles, the big military tents, we actually took it to the set and showed them how to set it up for filming on the miniseries they have coming out. It's called Echoes. And apparently they had some issue and they had to reshoot the entire scene like a month after they sent the tent back. They had to go get all of that stuff again, reset everything to where it was, and reshoot. I don't think it was just one scene. I think it was a few scenes. And I think that there were some unhappy people that they had to do that. But for me, I get to rent them at the same tent again. So like, yay, that was a bonus. I really like that.
It's always nice.
And I saw the warehouse. So they said that they're burning a house on the set today. Hey, there's Rich.
Oh, there I am.
We try to cut people's faces in half on this show, just to keep things interesting.
So I was trying out my new.
He's trying it. You should try harder,
Right.
Rich.
Did that work now?
Oh, okay. Now I hear it. Heard you a little bit, and then it went away.
And I hear nothing.
Right at the very end. You hear nothing? Interesting. That'll make the show more fun because we'll get to hear what Rich says, and he doesn't.
No, that's not working.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was the perfect solution. You know, you want to make the show better. You don't have to listen to us. You just talk, and that'll be the best content we've had in a while. It was better than what I do.
I couldn't get the camera or the mic to work, and I was like, "Come on."
Yeah.
I was like, well,
yeah, and you know what's funny? You like to give me a hard time for rolling in just seconds before the show starts. I was here early. It wasn't incredibly early, but it was a few minutes before we needed to hit the go button. And I get in here and I'm like, come on, I'm here. Yeah.
I was working on it, man.
Yeah. Let's turn my light down a little bit.
I had the old school, like, original camera on the computer was on, no mic. Going through all the settings, trying to make it to work, and I'm like, all right, I've had enough. Let's shut it off, reboot it. Poof.
Yeah.
Right, there we are.
Yeah. All right. I'm liking the medieval hat. That's kind of cool. I broke out what I refer to as my "Don't Shoot Me" sweatshirt. This is the classic original version of the Gear Report logo that we had years ago with the Gear G and a tent and the canoe paddles and then the target.
I'm going to sit back further so you can see the new one.
Yeah, the new logo, the old logo. We're kind of hitting both of them here. All right. So since you did... Oh, he's back. Let's see if he figured out his technical challenges.
I hit it with a hammer. No, I was going to use my new phone with my new, Samsung Buds, but something in technology just doesn't work.
That happens.
I
sometimes.
keep saying I want to be Amish, but with electric and internet. I'm not sure what that
Interesting.
means.
Wow. I'm not sure either. Yeah. But I think I get it. And it reminds me of a joke that I heard, because I'm told that we're not supposed to talk about the cough stuff online. So I like to make
The
comments on
Kung
it in the
Flu.
show. Just what's that?
The Kung Flu.
The Kung Flu. Yeah, we're not
The
supposed to
karate
talk
cold.
about it. But I like to mention things like you know, the you hear about the Amish, like, why aren't they affected by this? Well, they don't have TV. And I think that
So
pretty
they
much,
don't know to get the cold? Is that what you're
right.
saying? They're
That,
uninformed?
that's certainly what I'm implying. Yes. Yes. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
say, because I'm
totally
not
could
an
get you
expert.
demonetized right now.
Yeah.
But, just wind me up.
Yeah. It's a fine line to walk, but I like to add
There's
some
this damn
context.
thing called science, and if more people
Yeah.
paid attention to it, we'd be better off.
Yeah. So, speaking of better off, what I'm hearing from the scientists that I follow, the physicians, the medical people, the scientists, that I've found some that like to present a lot of data and peer-reviewed data, and are excited about this new variant that other people are freaking out about, because it's showing common cold-like symptoms, but it's spreading like wildfire. And it's like,
And that's a good thing.
this is
That's a
cool.
fantastic thing.
Yeah. It's bad from the standpoint that there are people who have immune compromise or other health
Yes.
issues where they could literally die from a common cold. And it's
Right.
terrible that any illness that goes around is probably going to kill someone. But from the
Correct.
perspective of the speed with which this variant, they're reporting that it's spreading, these experts, not me, these experts are reporting very high levels of optimism that this will spread through the world within 2 months or so, spread fast enough that we hit natural herd immunity, and do so with a variant that is going to have massively less negative implications for masses and masses of people. And
Correct.
that all sounds to me like, we have a shit sandwich we have to eat with this. This is going to be the smallest one that we can,
So
there's no good answer here. Everything is negative when it comes to an illness passing around the world, but this is about as positive as you can get for a scenario like that.
I'll tell you what, if I get wound up, feel free to just go like that and I'll stop talking, because this isn't my channel.
Right.
So it's about the anniversary of when I got COVID, and my wife and I she wasn't working from home. She at the time, both of us were in the medical field, believe it or not. We worked for 2 different Florida hospital organizations. I do IT work. I do cloud infrastructure work. So the joke about me being Amish with electric and internet is, with the level of home automation I got going on in my house here, and AIs that live on-prem. So that my wife, she is an RN, but she hasn't practiced in a long time. She does administrative type work at a hospital in Palm Beach. I don't want to give things away. I did IT infrastructure work at a hospital, another hospital group. The interesting thing about that, I thought we were both in bulletproof professions, that there would never be an instance where hospitals would be losing money. And when they stopped elective surgery, which is where all the money is made, and we're not talking cosmetic surgery, we're talking, hey, I need a joint replaced, but it can wait. In fact, it's even as bad as I need heart valve surgery. That's considered elective. We're not just talking like, hey, I'll walk on crutches, I need a knee replacement or a hip replacement. We're talking heart valves, etc. Were getting postponed, which financially hit both of our organizations. Both dealt with it slightly differently and came through okay. But anyhow, long story to get there. We at the time had a personal trainer that would come in, and we would train like Monday and Wednesday. Well, she missed Monday. She was sick Monday and Tuesday and came out Wednesday. Well, she had the Kung flu. And, she bounced back immediately just because she's nutty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I, came into contact, we were working out together. And I don't mean to, I always put absolutely platonic, working out together. Just, I could show you, we got a workout room over here. Anyhow, Friday, I could feel it in my upper chest. Saturday, Sunday, I was out. I was laughing because my work, even though we were remote, encouraged us highly to get the flu vaccination. So I got the flu shot. And I'm like, haha, I got the flu. You jackwagons, you made me take the flu shot. I still got the flu. And it was like a little worse than normal flu for me, body aches, whatever. I just laid in bed and watched, movies for Saturday, Sunday. And I work exactly in this chair. So just turned that way. And, Monday morning, I was back at work. I coughed a little. My wife, however, she was fine all Saturday and Sunday. And she actually was with her parents and with asymptomatic, gave it to them. I believe we had the Delta variant, I believe. It was early. They weren't calling it it was months later they started calling it. But it was pretty benign, but it spread very rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, her parents, her mom has since passed over the summer, but her parents were not the picture of health. Mm-hmm. Not for the last couple of years. They had near zero symptoms, which I was shocked at. So anyhow, my wife came home Monday from work she couldn't smell and she couldn't taste. I was like, oh crap, I had COVID. That was so, and my daughter had the same thing. And my wife and my daughter are like nutty, freaky, healthy. As far as I could probably count on 2-3 fingers the number of times my daughter's been sick through school, and although college is a different story, she seems to be getting everything there.
Yeah.
But through, primary school, she had no, if she would be sick for a number of hours. Anyhow, I'm saying all of that to say my sister who didn't want to get the vaccine, works from home, her work made her get it, and she legitimately, and I say this 100% legit, she has issues, medical issues. I just don't want to talk about her medical issues.
Sure.
That it wasn't a good idea for her to get the vaccine, but also she didn't want to lose, because she needs her medical insurance to cover ongoing issues that she has. So she wanted to stay in good graces with the company. She got the vaccine, even though she had, a doctor's note, and that kind of sounds like the dog ate my homework type thing, but no, it's a serious thing. Mm-hmm. And she got the flu, or the Kung flu, and passed it on to my dad, who's elderly, let's just say, and my dad ended up in the hospital. He's recovering, things are good. But so a couple of things about this. One, we're not talking about people that actually have naturally occurring antibodies, which would be the best antibodies ever to have.
Sure.
We're talking about store-bought, chemically built antibodies. And people, and I absolutely don't wish ill on anyone, no matter what side of the political party you are. Peppermint Patty, she came down, she was fully vaccinated, and she came down with the Kung flu. And I wish her a speedy recovery. I'll call it Peppermint Patty, Jen Psaki, but I absolutely don't wish anyone ill health, or there's very few people I wish ill, maybe one or two, but it's like, I hope they stub their toe kind of ill,
Sure.
So I think it's kind of nuts what's going on. Do you guys know who Richard Monder is?
That's not one that's ringing a bell for me.
Okay. Richard Monder he lives in England, and he's like a super big, I'm sure you've seen him somewhere. He's been on Hank Strange's show. He's been on a Gun Gripes with Eric and Chad, and so he's been around. He's on a couple other shows. They're going door to door and checking people and giving them like a $25 card. So he's got like, I'll use my patch. He's got like a stack. I'll do the patch this way. He's got a stack of cards. He's like, oh, I'm buying ammo with this.
Wow.
So it's pretty nutso what's going on. The typical run of how things go. And where are you guys from? I forget.
Well, I'm in North Carolina. TJ's in Florida.
Oh, yep. TJ, where in Florida are you?
Satellite Beach.
What beach?
Sadie Beach, right below Cocoa Beach.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're East Coast dude. I drive by your hood used to drive by it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in Jupiter.
Okay. Yeah. We're her north.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
so in Florida, they were like trashing Florida because over the summer we were like up there. As far as the 50 states go, we were pretty high in the cases.
Crazy. We had all the tourists down. I mean, it was amazing,
Well, we also have, I don't know the stats on the elder population that we have, but we also have a high degree of vulnerable population. I don't know if we're top in the country, but we're up there. We're probably in the top 5 as far as elderly, susceptible, vulnerable population. In DeSantis, I wasn't aware of this. I wasn't paying attention or knowledgeable on the patterns that, because I'm like 15 years a Florida resident, I'm a refugee from New York, that DeSantis was saying that we're going to go down, and as soon as the cooler weather hits, we're going to go down, because in Florida in the summer we stay indoors where you transmit the virus, and in the winter, like right now, oh my God, it's like I think I want to sleep outside tonight. It's so gorgeous. Yeah. It's like unbelievable, and so now this time of year we're outdoors instead of being indoors with other people. Or in even dining, when you go out to a restaurant, everybody eats outdoors in Florida this time of year. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of it too is in the summer, though. It's we've got a ton of tourists down here.
Oh yeah,
and you can go into public in the summer. It's a nightmare how you going in there in the summer. And so they're not they're bringing it down, but they're trying to get out of their states and just hang out and have fun in Florida. Which I don't blame them.
Come to a free state, yeah.
I know.
Hell yeah.
Jeff loves it down here.
So now we're like 50th in the country for COVID. I think it's two things, like COVID hospitalizations and cases of COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we got. I mean, my brother got it. He got it. Went down, got tested, drove around the block, got the monoclonal antibodies.
Good, great.
Was better in a couple of days. So you're good to
excellent. Go. Yeah, and that's what my dad got. My dad got. I was worried that in New York they weren't doing that treatment, but he got monoclonal antibodies. It seems to be making a big turnaround. Oh, yeah. What I meant to tell you, of course, I missed one point. My wife got prescribed ivermectin. They call it the horse paste. It's a pill. Yeah. It's a human approved pharmaceutical. Yeah. There is a version you give to horses that is a paste. Anyhow. I actually ended up in the hospital. Like, we both had a cough that lingered on for weeks after we were free and clear of COVID. So for me, basically, it was 2 days. I just coughed we both coughed. I had a little bit of an elevated temperature, a little bit over 100. I didn't really think anything of it. My wife, being the nurse, one Sunday morning says, "Hey, go down to my hospital, get a chest X-ray." And I didn't realize. I still didn't feel ill at all. Just felt a little, recovering from a cold.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't believe it. My blood blood oxygen saturation was 86%.
Oh my!
I was like, holy crap! Yeah, so I got admitted. Yeah, I got pneumonia. So they admitted me. They did X-ray, CAT scan, whatever. And I was there for like 2 nights, 3 days, and I was ready to bust the heck out myself.
Sure. Wow.
But I just did whatever you did to treat a flu. Meanwhile, my wife had a doctor prescribe her horse paste, and she was fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I was in a discussion with somebody earlier about probably a couple of days ago about why we're not talking about just treatments. We know everything's
well.
What about
an excellent point that we're not talking about. What is the term? The medications to treat the disease as opposed to just a vaccination.
Sure.
Not pharmaceuticals. Why can't I think of the name? Anyhow, there's other countries, and this is malaria is a big thing in parts of Africa. So hydroxychloroquine, people take that every day for years in parts of Africa. And guess what? There's parts of Africa, nobody has it. How could that be? And it's just pretty amazing to me that we're ignoring all of this science. And so here's my theory on it, and I might be just a screwball, or I am a screwball, and I might be, but I could be right on this. Hydroxychloroquine is a generic. Nobody makes any money on that. It costs pennies. Same thing. It's like I got remdesivir in the hospital. But the horse paste, again, it's a generic thing. Nobody makes any money on that.
Yep.
But holy cow, these vaccines, there's a lot of money to be made.
Right. These pharmaceutical products that they changed the definition of vaccine so that they could call them vaccines.
Well, that's the other thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, therapeutic was the word I was looking for, therapeutics.
Yeah.
So there's therapeutics for everything on the planet. There's a recommended course of treatment, except for the
yeah. So I've heard a lot of experts floating ideas along that line that follow the money is pretty obvious. And another thing that I heard some professionals say was that in order to get the emergency use authorizations for the different COVID shots, there had to be no other available treatments.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And they're still, like today, they're still trying to pass some additional products. What is it?
Apparently, even before the vaccines came out, there were a couple products that worked well. But
yep. But if they admit that they work, then they have to deny the emergency use authorizations, and then that would have. I honestly believe that there were some people who committed to vaccines are the only acceptable solution. How my performance is going to be judged is on how this proceeds forward, and nothing but continuing on that path will work for them. So that's what they're pushing. Or at least that's what it looks like to.
That's why they hate Florida so much.
And look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer. Yeah. You want to get vaccine? That's your business. Here I'm libertarian on this crap. Whatever you do, if it doesn't pick my pocket or break my nose, I don't care.
Yep.
Go for it.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right. We have burned the first 30 minutes of the show on this, and I skipped this question because waiting for the right moment without derailing what we were talking about.
And he's got.
He does.
Does Rod watch every gun podcast there is?
Only the good ones.
I thought I was like sneaking out on Rod, that he wouldn't see me somewhere.
Speaking of bourbon, I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, I don't. Well, actually, no. I gave that to Swamp Dog. I only have tequila, and I only have the Costco tequila, which isn't bad.
So I don't have anything, and TJ's just being a smartass going off camera right now, because normally he refills his glass on camera, but I have to admit that I don't have anything in my house at all. My schedule is such that if I drink hardly anything, I'm going to oversleep and miss stuff. Just doesn't.
I'm with you. I would tell you I actually enjoy drinking, but the full bottles of liquor that have been around for about 6-7 years would tell otherwise.
Yeah. So the position I'm in right now is we didn't have SHOT last year. It looks like, I don't want to jinx it here, but there appears to be significant momentum towards SHOT Show happening. And
I don't want to jinx anyone. I want SHOT to happen.
Yeah.
For the organization, for all of the good reasons, all of the good and right reasons. I'm just I've been betting against it. Let me just tell you that.
Hey, I have too. And I have said the closer it gets, the more concerned I am that if anything happens whatsoever, there are reported to be some pretty people in New Mexico, in Las Vegas, and different levels of government who would like to not have a gun-friendly show in town. And any opportunity to say, hey, we got this new variant. Sorry, even if this new variant is actually what's going to save us, because
I think it will, because that's how these types of things play out. And if you look at the improperly named 1919 Spanish flu, which I think originated like in the Midwest here, but it was seriously, if you look it up, the origin wasn't Spain. It was just that the first publicized reports came from Spain about it, and then it got named the Spanish flu. But apparently it originated like in Oklahoma, something like that. And I'd have to look it up. Check my facts. Don't take whatever I say right offhand.
Right.
But yeah, I hope at this point it goes off, that they don't have any cancellations. I would like to go. I probably do have airfare miles somewhere from a canceled flight that I could use. And actually, I got a buddy in Vegas also.
It's cheap out of Orlando. Like 120.
Oh yeah. Orlando, the airport's 2 hours away. So for me, it's 2 hours to Orlando Airport. It's 2 hours to Miami. West Palm Beach is a fantastic airport, but you usually have to get a connection somewhere.
Right.
And so a lot of times I'll be actually flying out of Orlando or Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, Orlando's got that. I do the direct flight. I don't play the layover thing. I go straight there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I grew up. I grew up on Long Island. I'd fly out of JFK, go anywhere in the world direct.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm on every flight option I have this year through, I think it was just Southwest I was looking at. Southwest, TJ will tell you, I'm weird when it comes to spending money. Like we'll talk in a little bit about the latest guitar acquisition, and I'll spend money on stuff. But then other things, you better good luck prying that penny from between my fingers. It ain't happening.
It's like, should I buy another $10 smart outlet or a $400 firearm?
Yeah, there you go.
It's like,
Yeah, so anyhow, I'm jealous that you guys get the cheap flights from down there. It cost me a whole lot more, and then through Southwest, I was going to say, what the thing about SHOT Show is I travel light whenever I can. If I don't have to check a bag, I don't want to, because it's just more hassle. You have to go get bag check. Well,
they get mad when I don't want to check my firearm and use it as a carry-on, but...
Yeah. Yeah, so I try to go light, but I figured out with SHOT Show, if you want to bring any swag back or have clothes so you're not washing clothes in the sink at night because you're there for a week, you kind of have to check a bag. But then it gets expensive when you're on like Frontier and you got to pay $40 each way for a bag.
Yeah, it's an extra $100.
You get 2 check bags. So I have found I have a big rolling bag and a
2 check, 2 carry on.
Yeah, I have
11 pounds of ammo.
I'll have to keep that one in mind. But the large rolling check bag and then a slightly smaller one, I nest them together. So I'm only pulling one on the way out there. And if I bring back enough stuff, now I got 2. And it works.
So I'll throw, just a duffel bag in. Like that's my return with more shit bag. kind of thing. I said shitbag, and I got to apologize to Richard Hoff that I'm not making fun of him.
Right. All right. So where are we? We're 35 minutes into the show. Let's actually dive in and do one or two of the things that we're supposed to do on this show, because we do have an agenda. And
really, I'm not used to shows with agendas.
I know, it's crazy. So typically this week at Gear Report, we talk about recently completed reviews. We talk about things that are upcoming, a little preview of what's going to happen. And then we get into just the general banter. Well, we got into that first. So now we got to pay the bills and do the real stuff here real quick.
Yeah.
So recently completed. TJ, you want to go first or
Sure.
second? Because we have two to talk about.
Let me go second.
Oh,
because I didn't look to see what the first one was, so this would be like a surprise for me.
Oh, well, that'll be a good surprise if I can find it. I think when I was looking for something else, I lost it. I'm gonna have to go back and reopen. Nope, it's right here. All right, how come I'm not seeing it in StreamYard? All right, you have passed on your technical difficulties because there it is. That's weird.
Like
I clicked away and I came back, and then it magically was inserted into the list. Here we go. So this one was a very specific target audience here, because we talk about occasionally how we don't just do guns. We don't we do all kind of things at Gear Report. One of the things we do is I personally run a Facebook group for mainly for scouters, for adults who are taking scouts to one of the Boy Scouts of America high adventure bases called Philmont Scout Ranch. And I've done a couple treks and videos and lots of articles and gear guides and everything. And I put together a gift guide because we were getting a lot of questions in the Facebook group about, well, my kids are going to Philmont, or my husband's going, or I know someone who went, what should I get them? So I put together a gift guide that hits some of the high points of things that could be useful, which I'm gonna give you a hint here. I don't really care what your interests are. Probably if you don't know what to get someone, my recommendation number one is going to be a gift card to someplace kind of generic so they can get whatever they want. But I also threw what's that?
Good call.
Yeah, I threw some specific.
Don't give them something they're going to have to return later.
Yeah, and honestly, what I talk about up here, a lot of it is, I know it kind of kills the mood to ask, what do you want? But for the specific trips, the backpacking trips, the 12 days in a very, very rugged backcountry in the mountains of New Mexico, you really need to have the right gear and not have the wrong gear and not have anything you don't need, because you're carrying it all up and down mountains, lots of elevation changes, pretty high altitude. I mean, you top out most treks at least over 10,000 feet, some of them over 12 and a half.
I'm usually sitting when I'm at 10,000 feet.
Yeah, I hear you. So it's you don't want to carry extra stuff. So I actually have some discussion in here about don't guess about it, ask. Even if you feel like it ruins the mood to ask someone and get them a specific gift they ask for, don't surprise them. If you have to surprise them, get them a gift card. If you here are a few items, if you absolutely just need some quick, easy things, like everyone can use socks, and then a couple things that aren't that expensive. And then travel gear. And this is something that could be useful, like we're talking about for SHOT Show, rolling suitcases, the backpacking pillow that doubles as a pillow when you're on the airplane, the USB battery pack, the rolling carry-on bag, the Bluetooth headset. Those are all kind of generic things that anyone could use. But anyhow, since this has a very specific audience, as usual, when we have very specific audience things, we blow through them pretty quickly. But hopefully that helps some people, because I know we had a number of questions. Oh, I hit the wrong button. The show looked better there for a second.
Man, I was like, man, look at that.
Yeah, and then I clicked the wrong thing again. So are you noticing, this is something I hadn't seen before, when I wear this, the Don't Shoot Me orange, I am noticing that the way that my key light hits it, it washes out the colors and turns me blue.
Yes.
Like, man, that was a bad choice.
Yeah.
I wonder, you know what? I'm going to queue up the next one, which is TJ's to talk about. The last published content that we have to talk about. And while TJ's talking, I'm going to turn my camera
I threw
off.
one more in the queue this morning too.
Oh, awesome. And, you know, like I said, I was on the road for 6.5 hours today, so I didn't see
I know
that.
you're driving around.
Yep, making money off of Netflix.
Yep.
So here you go. I'm gonna drop this here, and you can talk a little bit about that. I'm gonna mess with my lighting.
There you go. You mess
off
with your
camera while you're doing that.
All right, cool. Yeah, this is Mantis Blackbeard. Just the it's a little bolt carrier laser. Yep. I've got the X10 Elite, and this is the Blackbeard, which goes in your ARs. It's
that is so cool.
Oh, it's dude. Like, cause when I first got the X10, I was like, oh, I'll use it on shotguns, pistols, and I went to put it on the AR. I was like, well, this sucks. I gotta charge
Rack it each time.
Yeah, charging it every freaking time, and I was like, come on. So this thing, it's you charge up the magazine is actually the battery, and it says it's good for 100,000 resets. I'm working on it.
The battery on one charge?
Yeah,
that's nuts.
It took it a while.
No,
it took it a while.
Wait. I don't care if it takes 10 days to charge. I thought that was a CO2 cartridge.
No, it's a battery pack in it. You can hear it as soon as you put it in. It's ching ching ching, and
yeah,
it's man, I played with that thing all over the house, and you know, I did short. I went to the range and did the threw the target all the way down the end.
Here's a tip for you: don't line these up and touch them with your finger over the little trigger reset thing, because it'll bite you.
Yeah.
Does it work like a taser?
All right. Actually, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to see.
Do it.
Oh, it's not going to do it this time.
Heard something.
Oh, there it was.
Yep.
Oh, and you see the lasers going too.
I'm blind.
Fun with technology. Look at that.
Yep. Yeah, but
I didn't mean to distract while you were giving a serious review.
I set it up at different distances, and I mess around the house with it all the time.
Oh, that is so cool. And
I think I'm getting better. We'll see.
It's just funny with all the stuff that's been going on around here this year. I finally, only a couple of weeks ago, showed my wife how to use this. Because we had an iTarget system, and it's okay. I'm not, but I think you get, because you get the coaching out of this, out of the Mantis.
I like the X10 Elite is cool because you get all the drills and stuff, and then the
yes, you can do holster draw. It does all sorts of things other than just straight practice firing.
Yep. So this one's cool. I mean, like I said, it shoots that laser so you can see where you're hitting. So I go and I'll hit. I'll get one of the 5 circle targets, and I'll just go diagonal around and just work on my accuracy. And it helps a lot because it slows me down a little bit, because sometimes when I'm shooting, I try to go too fast, and it's like, come on. So it lets me, I'm getting a little better with the accuracy.
So you gotta pimp that with the Mantis. So have you told people what the Mantis is?
Yeah, I've done a review on it. We've done quite a few.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, the X10 Elite, and then they have the what's the other part that goes with that, Jeff? The
what? You're not talking about the Laser Academy, are you?
Laser Academy, yeah. Yeah, then you can do the Laser Academy, and it has the like you set up with your phone, and it takes pictures of, and it'll track your laser shots on the targets.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on the list. It's definitely do that all the time.
And when you think about it, the ability, it's actually more valuable. Like I would, back when ammo was cheap, I would shoot like 1,000 rounds a month. I'd go to the range and I'd pop off 1,000 rounds a month. And when you think about it, I think this is 250 if I recall, and I'm not sure what the Blackbeard setup is, but that is a fantastic setup.
Oh yeah.
And not only is it, like the cost of present day prices, like 1 or 2 range trips, but you're getting advice on how to correct. And for me and my family, I'm not allowed to be correct. But when the box tells you what to do, it's all the much better. It's much betterer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like this helped a bunch, like I said, because I really wanted to use the X10 Elite with the AR, and I was like, and then now this thing is like, ching ching ching, as fast as you can pull the trigger, it'll reset that thing.
That is so cool.
So plus I mess with the cat a lot too with it. It's nice.
I think that this is one of those items that I struggled a little bit with. How much do we kind of push it? I mean, as a review publisher, I never want to come across as like, hey, we have a deal with the company, we're going to make money. We don't have any deal with them. They send us stuff whenever it comes out. We.
Oh, you went mute.
See, the show gets better and better all the time.
Practice makes perfect.
I know.
I think you hit the mute button on StreamYard, Jeff.
Yeah,
you're unmuted.
Happened. I was moving the mic and I wiggled the cable on the bottom of the mic, and when it disconnected, StreamYard put it on mute, and then I didn't see that. So thanks for telling me. There was a good suggestion where we were talking, by the way, this week in Beer Report. Maybe that's a new show started.
It's this week at Bourbon Report today. So
okay, well, we can do multiple shows, whatever.
Yeah.
So anyhow, I was saying that we do have we'll publish affiliate links, for example. So if someone buys it, maybe we make $1 or $3 off of it. But so I'm always hesitant to push something too hard for fear that it'll come across wrong. I can show this one here at Primary Arms. It's out of stock. You couldn't buy it anyway because they don't have it. But over the course of these ammo shortages or ammo being more expensive, I really wanted to talk more about the Mantis products because they're such a great fit for trying to not go broke spending money on ammo, but still get some practice in to keep those perishable skills a little fresher. And I always we'll talk about it a little bit, and then I'm like, well, okay, I don't want to push too much and have people think, we're all getting Homer on this or something,
I haven't shot a firearm since I've seen you guys.
Yeah. Wow. That's been
maybe not. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. So, they're perishable skills, and this gives you a safe option where, like, we can talk about the winter when it's hard to get out to a range as well. Like maybe you're safer to sit at home with your Mantis, that especially if you're using a Blackbeard, because it physically blocks the action. You have to remove the bolt carrier group and put one in that will not let you chamber around. and it doesn't do anything unless you put their magazine in it that only has battery contacts and doesn't hold ammo. Like it's literally, you can't set it up with with ammunition in the firearm, so you can do all your training and be completely safe. Oh, don't laugh. Well, okay, it was kind of funny. Gary, we are talking about the Mantis X products, and what got us started was we were looking at TJ's review of the Blackbeard that cycles it resets the trigger in an AR so that you can do your dry fire practice without having to pull the charging handle all night.
Yes, so much better. I was looking at the next comment.
We're getting there. Yeah, so we actually start when TJ's segment came up, I actually turned my camera off and pulled the filter out of my key light to see if I could get the blue to go away.
It didn't help.
My theory is it's the "Don't Shoot Me" orange shirt, but you know what? I have something under here. It's a little chilly up here, but I'm going to see if maybe the camera will color correct a little and make me look less blue. Yeah, I don't know. We shall see. Maybe if I turn it off.
As I was wearing, I think one of the shows I had the F1 firearms shirt on, and it's like blue, and it was like it was disturbed. Like I put it on, I was like, "This is such a bad choice." It was,
Yeah, auto
such
white balance will do that.
It was such a bright blue that everything was blue, and I was like, "All right, I never wear this shirt again on podcast." I love my shirt.
I'm fairly low tech. I'm just using my old phone as my webcam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the colors seem to be okay. Sometimes it racks in and out on the focus, but
I've got a camera. I've got 2 lights. I got a light on each side, and then I've got the mic set up. So I've got the one light over there adjusts the it can go from bright white to yellow, so it washes out a little bit of blue. But I've got 2 screens. So I've got a screen over here with stuff on it that's giving me a little bit of the blue reflection. But
right.
My phone usually does pretty good, but I was almost going to have to use the phone if I couldn't figure out the technical difficulties I had earlier.
I feel like it's still looking blue, even though I took my "Don't Shoot Me" sweatshirt off. I don't know what's going on.
But I think you're better because the contrast between the orange and the slightly blue tint was really rough.
Yeah. I try to change things up, keep people guessing what's going on. Although if I could get paid like I was in a Blue Man Group, I would do it.
He just wanders off.
The concept of the Blue Man Group is ingenious because nobody knows who they are, and if you don't like one of the guys, you just replace them.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe that fixed it. I put a filter on the key light, and that seems to have made it look a little bit better. So there we go. So those were the 2 articles we've covered, recently published. We can talk about the other segments of the show. Reviews will be published soon. And TJ, you said you just submitted something that's in pending. Is that the trigger?
The Swamp Fox. No, the Swamp Fox Patriot. Put that one in. That one was so close, I forgot about it, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! It's almost done." Yeah. And then the RMT Nomad will be in probably tomorrow, the next day, and then the Taurus Raider. I mean, I'll have probably 3 or 4 in by the end of the weekend.
Nice. That is awesome.
Knocking them off the list, man.
Yeah, I got a couple in the queue that I need to get moving on.
So you said Taurus what?
Put your work doing all the editing.
Yeah. The Taurus is, let's see, the one that's in here is the TX22 competition, I think.
Okay, that was nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I actually, I've got the TX22. I didn't get the TX22 competition, but I got the regular TX22.
And I left the sight in the other room. I've got the G3C Toro, the Taurus Optics Ready option. The best I can do is show you the box because the overlords here at
I got the Raging Hunter. The Raging Hunter's awesome. I love that thing.
Yeah,
the big boy. But the TX 22 competition is pretty good. It's I don't want to say it's ammo finicky, but it's stovepiped me a couple times.
Really? Oh, okay. I didn't shoot. I shot the ones at Iraq Veteran, and the one I've shot, I don't know how many mags I got through it, but it was flawless for me.
I've got the like the CCI, but I've got some old just crappy stuff out of the bucket. The bucket of bullets.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was shooting CCI.
Yeah, it's had it's a couple times, not a lot, but once in a while I'm like, trying to just I'm like, oh, okay, no biggie.
Yeah, but is it better or worse than any other 22?
Yeah, but I mean the 22 is I've got so much ammo for that I'm not even worried about it.
But I mean, you said you had 2 stovepipes. Is that on par with other 22s?
Yeah, I mean I've had it stovepipe in my Ruger 1022. But it's either a dirty filthy mag or just crappy ammo, or I got to clean the gun maybe. I might have to oil up the gun a little bit more. And it was outside and it was a little dusty, so we'll see.
Clean the gun. Let's not get all crazy here, okay?
So
I know.
Have Have you tried out Aegis Gun Care, Gun Lube?
Heard about those guys.
Heard about them? Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. Where's I going to
We
go?
lost Jeff. He's
Man.
like,
Boom. It was there and it was gone. That was awesome.
I think upcoming reviews.
Yeah.
I saw him
losing
losing. Yeah, I was going to talk. Oh, I know what it was. So we were talking about you have a Swamp Fox optic coming, and I actually took the little red dot that was from Hollow Sun and Primary Arms. Yeah.
Did it fit?
It's not up here. It's down on my little side table because I took it to wrestling practice. One of the other coaches is a sheriff's deputy, and he's carrying, you want to guess what his sidearm is? He told me what it was. I was like, what is that? Something doesn't look right about your Glock 19. He's like, oh, it's not a 19. And when he told me what it was, I was like, you're carrying that as your duty gun. What do you think it was?
I'm going to go off the wall and say a Ruger 5.7.
I'd say high point.
That would be awesome. No, I'd give him props for that, I think.
High point.
No, I thought it was a Glock 7. I thought it was a Glock 19, but it didn't look quite right. He's carrying a 48, a Glock 48. And I was like, you're carrying like the little baby gun? Come on, on duty? 10 rounds and then 10 on his other hip. I'm like,
that's what's in my pocket. A Sig P365. I got 10 in one.
That's what I pocket carry too, is a 365. But I'm not, I don't have a target on my back like a sheriff's deputy does. Sure. So I was like, really? But anyhow, he had a little Swamp Fox red dot on it, and we were talking about it. And so then the next day at practice, I grabbed the box with that Hollow Sun and took it. Had to be careful not to take it on a gun because wrestling practice is on school property, and in North Carolina they put you under the jail for that, unless you're the other coach who's the deputy. But he carries his to practice, and oddly the wrestlers pay better attention to him than the rest of us. But whatever.
Yeah.
So
rightfully so.
But anyhow, what I liked about that is the what do they call it? ACCS, whatever their reticle is that Primary Arms has. And I always get it mixed up, and I try not to talk about it when I don't have it in front of me, but it has a larger circle and then a little dot in the center. So when you're shooting normally, all you really see is the dot. But if you get off target enough that the dot wanders out of your window, then the bigger circle comes into the window, so you can see where you're off. And it helps you get back get your dot back on target. And I thought that was freaking brilliant. So
I like that idea.
Because
I'm like, oh, it's not on. I'm like, oh, wait.
Right. Yep. And it has that larger ring that it'll get you back into the center so much quicker. Yep. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Wandered around trying to where's the dot at? Oh, you pick up a random gun with a dot. You're like, all right, where's it at? Now you know. Circle. Boom.
Yep. So I'm excited about that one. And let's see. I got to show you the weekly guitar segment. I'm going to go into Guitar Zan mode here and show you this one. So kind of like with guns, I like all kinds of guns. I like all kinds of guitars, but I get into weird stuff that it's like hard to find. And in the US, it's harder to find a Fender guitar that's made in Japan. So, and this was made during an era where the Fender factory in California, the company was sold out of bankruptcy, and when it sold, the factory didn't go with it. So they were like without a factory. While they built a new factory, they had the guitars made in Japan for a couple years in the mid 80s. And this is one of those that was made in Japan in the mid 80s. And it has a very unique configuration. I have been all over the interwebs, and I have yet to find another one that had this combination of hardware that is the bridge down here at the bottom and then the locking nut up here at the top. It's just a different configuration than anything else I've seen. And kind of like with guns, I mean, that's why I had 28 Mosin Nagant rifles at one point, is everyone had a different set of stamps on it that showed its history and its slightly different configuration. And I was like, I want to own one of everything, you know? I don't have one that went to this factory. And then it's like, oh my goodness, the Finns, the Finnish got a hold of the Mosin Nagants and they did things to them. And then I wanted one of every of those types. So I eventually got to the point of, yeah, I can't keep up with this and stop trying to do that. And I don't want to completely go overboard with the guitars either. But anyhow, this is a genuine Fender Stratocaster made in Japan in what is likely 1986 based on the serial number. And it was beat up quite a bit, but a couple hours of love, and now it plays pretty awesome. And I've got to decide if I'm going to list this one on the Reverb store or hang on to it a while. I'm probably going to hang on to it, play it for a couple weeks.
It's very shiny.
It looks shiny. So something I got a kick out of is this thing's had the snot beat out of it, and you probably can't see because the camera doesn't focus in quite well enough. But because of the gloss finish, I do a pretty standard photo shoot for every guitar, for every gun, any product that comes in. I have a series of things that I do with it to get kind of stock photos to go in reviews and to go on social media. And when I was shooting this one, I've got right over here beside me is the guitar section of the studio, and I've got big amps and big speakers and a big flashy, bright colored pedal board and all the stuff sitting over there to make this awesome guitar backdrop to take pictures of guitars in front of. And so I set up the lights and everything, and I take the pictures, and as I'm editing them, I'm like, I can barely see a flaw on this thing. But when I pick it up, it's got little dings and scratches all over the place. Someone beat the crap out of this. And I actually bought it from a guy's mom who is like, yeah, I got it for my son and thought he'd learn to play, and he never really did. So I just eventually gave up. And she was not happy about selling it. She was less happy that I offered her less than she was hoping for. But, fact is,
better than nothing.
Yeah, and it's still got a couple parts that like the bar, the whammy bar, for dive bombing. It's hard to get the original one because they hadn't made them in a couple decades. And apparently there's something special about how they work. If you get the wrong one, it'll mess things up. And so that's just plain missing. And then the nut, they call this the nut at the top, is different. And one of the little pieces is missing. And it still works, but, it's not 100% correct. So like a collector would probably have heartburn that the two pickups here have been replaced with a different brand. They've been upgraded. So I was like, you know what? She gets less money. And this may be one that I keep. And then the more expensive USA made Fender Stratocasters that I have, I can sell them and still have a nice one to play. So that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. We'll have to see. I just see which one I like playing better. But I kind of hope it's that one because I'm at about, I'm at about $550 into that one now. And I have two listed on the Reverb store right now, one for $2,500 and one for $2,100. If I list that one, I'm going to have to buy some parts if I can find them and do a little bit
of work first.
I'm probably going to be looking to list it for about $1,000. I don't know if I'll even get that out of it. So out of those three, that'd be the one to keep.
If you got the parts and everything worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyhow, so that's what's happening on the guitar side. Funny thing is that came with a little tiny practice amp that I'd forgotten about, and the woman's like, "Well, here if you want it." I'd said this would be included. Yeah, okay, thanks. Didn't even plug it in. A couple days later, I plugged it in. I was like, you know what? I should at least test it, see if it works. Plugged it in, cranked it up. Like, holy crap, this thing sounds awesome. It's only I may make 40 or 50 bucks on it. That's it. But it's actually an awesome little amp. Oh, battery's running low. Did I not plug it in?
What'd you do?
No, I didn't. I put the power cable. I plugged it in. I dropped the cord over by the plug. Never plugged it into the wall. So there we go. Now I plugged it in.
Nice.
Yeah.
This laptop that stays like this constantly, because if I move it or unplug it, I'm afraid it's not going to work anymore.
Yeah. Well, my main PC that I do video editing and most of my article editing, it's dead right now. And I'm afraid that it has a water cool system. Like the processor has a little water jacket running over it that goes up to a radiator and has 2 fans blowing through it. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And I have replaced that radiator and fan, the whole cooling circulation system twice, and it's acting like it has died again. Because it'll run a little bit, it heats up, and the whole thing just shuts down, and that's usually a heat issue.
Doesn't sound like a good combo with a water-cooled computer.
That's what I've said, but I don't know. You don't hear about them leaking and ruining things very often, or at least I don't. But like I've literally, that one quit working like Saturday or Sunday. And I haven't even messed with it. Like I spent an hour one day, took it apart. I replaced one of the fans that was in the front that was making a little noise. It was still running. It was just making noise. I thought, well, that's probably not it. But I replaced that. I flipped one of the fans over that had one blowing in and one blowing out. It's like, you know what? We're just going to have them both. We can just have them both blowing out. Can I get you on John Crump Live in 2 weeks? Potentially. What do you think,
Sure.
TJ?
Sure.
Yeah, go hang out with Crumpy for a little bit.
Yeah.
You watch Crump sometimes, right?
Yep.
I get a tremendous kick out of what he refers to as his weaponized autism. I absolutely love that. As someone who may or may not be on the spectrum myself a little bit, and some other folks that I know, I love what he does with his ability to kind of hyper focus on things. So yeah, we could probably do that. We'll have to check dates and times, and have his people talk to our people and all that. And he's got a good green room for his show, right? Like they have snacks or something. No, I don't know. I hope so. I'm probably asking for too much there.
Be nice.
All right, that's funny. On my end, you're roboting, and it's kind of entertaining.
Probably. Came in as playing video games, crystal streaming.
I thought you laid down a law and told your family to stay off the internet while Papa is on.
Nobody listens to me.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. I mean, I was going to text them and have them fix me a drink, and I got no response, so that's why I had to go fix one. You see where I'm at on the totem pole.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I heard you were on the pole. I just didn't know which one it was.
$20 is $20.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. What else do we have coming? Anything interesting to talk about? We already talked about SHOT and the thoughts about that. I actually have seen an email or two come through from folks saying, hey, you're going to be at SHOT. Let's get together and talk about things.
There you go.
It's been a blow to my ego that the ones that I've seen come in have been addressed to other people. Bump hadn't been to SHOT with us in a few years, and I got one for him.
Really?
And I was like, really? And it was a brand that like I talked to before.
Was that from SIG?
No, I don't think SIG is wanting to talk to Bump anymore. It was some camping gear brands.
Oh.
And they'll be in the Venetian Expo Level 1 So that's the dungeon, right? And then so the new space is called what, Caesar, something about Caesars.
Yeah, apparently there's the walkways, the catwalk across there or something. We can get across there easily.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
Yes, we will. All right, so let me move that email back to being unread so I can come back to that later. I like to keep some unread messages. It makes me feel important.
There you go.
Wait till tomorrow. Yeah. I'm actually, I kind of get into, I don't know why, call it OCD if you want, but I get into these milestones, and I'm at 9,709 now, and it's like I don't want to open them until I hit at least 10,000 unread messages. And then I think I'll be okay to go ahead. But it's like, I'm not a quitter. I really don't want to quit on this quest to get to 10,000. But, who knows? There's probably something important there that I should look at.
Yeah. Maybe they'll email you again. You get 2 out of it.
Oh, yeah, that could work. Yeah.
Bump those numbers up.
In case anyone's curious, I was being harassed today in email by a company that they were all about, we want to send you free content, and it's our clients provided the topics, and we have the articles written, and we're providing it to you free of charge, these pre-written great articles. And I'm like, really? We write real articles, we don't have, like a pit full of, someone in a foreign market that doesn't speak English well, cobbling together articles and publishing them on Gear Report and saying, hey, look at the great reviews we did. I mean, we do real articles, and the guy was getting snippy with me, but this is a great benefit to you. And I'm like, really? If it's a benefit to our audience, it's a benefit to us. If it's just some generic topic that someone who doesn't really understand it wrote about, I've seen a lot of those already. I don't think we need those. So anyhow,
Snob's here. We can start.
Oh, about time. Jeez.
We've been rambling endlessly, waiting.
And now I don't remember what it was. I actually had something I was thinking about earlier. It's like, here's what I'm going to say when Snob shows up. I want to talk about this, but I don't want to talk about it until he shows up. And I can't for the life of me remember what it was.
I don't know either. I can't tell you.
Here we go. So what I can do is I can refer Snob to that guy.
Yes.
I say guy, I'm not sure. SHEA. I'm going to guess that's Shay, but I don't know if that's what do the kids say now? She, her, or he, him? I don't know which one it is.
That depends.
I don't know, but the whoever it is, they were getting a little testy with me that I would not accept their free content to publish on Gear Report, and I'm like, really? Now you want to pay? Because it's a link building thing. They're a marketing agency putting contents out there with do follow links going back to their clients. They're getting paid to do this.
Right.
Like, yeah, if it's a good article that will benefit my audience, then for $150, I will publish it. But otherwise, don't send me your crap articles. I'm not publishing them.
Right.
I'm not going to publish crap articles either way. But anyhow.
There you go.
Yep. The life and times of trying to maintain journalistic integrity. I also had a guy that got really pissy with me in the Facebook group that I started for the Philmont Trek stuff that we talked about earlier, because he came in and his very first note, it was like a commercial. I have been using this type of boots for so long. I've worn them so much that I actually spent a year and a half of work to purchase the company. And I love those boots so much that I purchased the company. And he's railing on about how awesome they are. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't recommend people wear boots on this type of trek. Right. He's got these, the last boot you'll ever buy. And I'm like, I don't buy boots anymore. You know, if I'm backpacking, I'm not wearing boots. I'm wearing trail runners or something lighter. Like when you say it's the last boots I'll ever buy. By the way, the last boots you'll ever buy, are they that bad that they're going to turn me off on boots forever?
Right.
You know, last boot you'll ever buy doesn't necessarily mean they're good. What he meant's to last forever. And I'm like, my feet smell like ass. I don't want boots.
No,
I don't want to smell
no
those
set of
for
boots will last
25
forever.
years.
I used to work in the Danners all the time when I was doing construction in Carolina because I needed a little bit of insulation, and they had a year warranty on those.
Yeah.
So about every 9 months, I would send them in.
Yeah.
So I ended up having 2 pairs. And
Yeah.
after about 4 years of me doing that, they said that we can't do this anymore. You're doing it on purpose. I'm like, no, I work 7 days a week. You know, I'm on my feet constantly. I was like, this is just what it is. And they're like, yeah, you ruin them somehow. So they wouldn't do it anymore. So I was like, all right. So when they all crapped out of me, I'm not buying any more ever again.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah, this guy was getting really testy. And I thought it was funny that if you go to Gear Report and look at the very bottom of any page, it's in the footer of every single page on the website as our affiliate disclosure. And he posted as if he's saying, well, look, this guy's a sellout. And I'm like, what you posted is proof that we are completely honest and transparent and, you know, tell people that, yes, we are a business that has to make money. Here's how we do it. And we're not hiding anything about it. It's like right here, you know, like, well, you're going to call me shady because I tell you up front, this is how we operate. Like, really? Yeah. So it was kind of fun.
That's why I try to stay out, like all the messenger stuff. I'm like, I'll let Jeff deal with that. I don't want to deal with that. I see how it's written. I'm like, nope.
Yep. And you know, honestly, I haven't responded to any of those in a while, or at least hardly any, because there was a point I was probably getting 3 or 4 a week. Maybe, probably 2 months ago, I was getting 3 or 4 a week on each platform, plus emails. And now I'm probably down to 3 or 4 across all platforms. So they're tapering off a little bit. But some of the stuff, I open it and I'm like, why would I want this? Like, you're really reaching out to random people saying, hey, would you like this shower comb or whatever? I'm like, that's oddly specific. You know, you don't have a catalog of like 100 products and here, look over these, see if you want one to review. But I saw one a day or two ago. Maybe I saw it this morning when I was sitting at a stoplight, because I can look for like a minute.
Right.
And then the kid says, Dad, the light changed. But it was an
like, hold on, I'm reading.
Yeah, it was an e-bike. And I'm like, I'm not even sure what an e-bike is, but it sounds interesting. So I'm actually scrolling to see if I can find it now.
Fast.
An e-bike, is that like a battery powered bike?
I mean, I guess there's all over the place down here. Everybody's got them.
Huh. Yeah, I can't find it now. I get so many.
The ones I've seen can haul ass too.
Well, I may have to look at this. Oh, here it is. Interested in review. Oh, and it's got pictures. See, I didn't see that because I was on the. I was just had the phone out while I had a second at a light, and it didn't load. All right, I'm going to do something crazy and bring the.
Oh, geez, let's see what we got.
Yeah, let's see if I can make that. Can I make it big enough so we can see it? So everyone who's watching on a phone is going to be like, "What's the point? I can't see that."
Like, I can't even see that.
Like, why? We're excited to launch our new single-speed e-bike, and we'd like your help reviewing or publishing
single speed.
First look. Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
It's either all or nothing, huh?
Yeah, and now that I reread it, we're help reviewing or publishing a first look. That doesn't necessarily mean reviewing an e-bike. It could mean, here's the deck. Would you like to look over the deck and share it? I'm not going to do that, but I may send them a note and say, yeah, I'll look at send me an e-bike and I'll go play with it. Yeah. We should
preferably a mountain version so I can go through the woods.
Or, it looked like one of the pictures on there had the real fat, like beach tires.
So they have.
That
I mean,
was
the
fun.
people down here use them on the beach all the time with the 3G or whatever they're called, and they go on the soft sand and everything. They're spinning.
Huh.
I'm like, hell yeah, look at that.
Yeah. I like what's it called? A one wheel? Like a 1x8 or a 1x10 board with a little rubber wheel in the middle. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've seen some of
Too.
those zipping down the beach, and I'm like watching, going, all right, they're gonna hit a hole or a crab or something, and the wheel's gonna stop, and they're not. But I hadn't seen them wreck yet, so
Yeah,
I'm not
there's
saying
I saw one guy who was wearing. He was on the sidewalk, had a helmet, so he must have bit it a couple times because he was getting it, but he had a helmet on, so I was like, he's probably hit the ground once or twice. I was like, yeah, I should wear a helmet when I run this thing.
Yep. All right, let's make a last call here for folks out there. Anything you want to talk about, or any comments you want to make, questions you want to ask? Do it now, because we're gonna go away.
Yeah, you get back to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I was doing some vinyl plank flooring. I've just got to go and work on the step risers and then just clean up. I made a mess. So I'm supposed to come take pictures tomorrow for the realtor's taking pictures tomorrow. So I'm going to, let's go sweep up everything, get rid of all the debris, make it semi-presentable.
So you watched Arrested Development, right? Yeah,
oh, yeah.
So having debris around the house wouldn't look good in the pictures, even if she's wearing that blue, the Fantastic Four superhero outfit.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Debris could pull it off.
Might sell quicker.
Yeah. All right. Today, Friday. Oh, yeah. I got to take my swimmer. Her swim practice starts at 5:30 in the morning. In Greensboro, a half hour away. So
that's
awesome.
Leaving
the house at 5. So yep, I'm gonna have to go hit the bed. It's getting past my bedtime as well. So I will thank everyone for squandering an hour and 22 minutes and 42 seconds, plus TJ for squandering slightly less because he was only a couple minutes late. I'll thank Flying Rich.
Yeah.
I think that was Flying Rich's first appearance on this show, if I'm not mistaken. So we appreciate him. He saw I was by myself. I think he panicked because everyone knows that's not safe for me to be here on the show by myself.
Right.
So
you should just sit there and just stare at people.
Trying to bail me out. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, this is funny. What is Mystic Guns commenting from the Gun Snobs account? Like, what? Later, guys, I get that, but this one, like, the Gun Snob's usually not sentimental. This is man, I'm gonna get all teared up here. Yeah. And something else I just noticed, and this is stupid, and everyone will be like, what? But I'm telling you, I'm so easily amused. I'm sitting with my back pretty close to the wall and the row of guitars, and the one that's over here, that very last one, before I turn the little backlight on, you can't see it. There's actually the guitar studio section is over there, and then there's a black photo backdrop, and then the angle is just barely right so you can see. I don't, like, I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at that guitar, I don't see how the camera can actually see that. It looks like it's hidden. If you were to walk in this room and stand in front of me, you wouldn't see the gray and black guitar or that brown one out on the side. But the way the camera angle works, it just barely gets it. I wonder how far could I go? Okay, so there you see the edge of that photo backdrop.
Yep.
And it's just got such a tight little angle that it sneaks in there to see that. I just got a kick out of that because, you watch shows, you watch these broadcasts, you think, oh man, they must be in this awesome big studio. And mine doesn't look like that. but it looks cooler and bigger than it is. Like you would think he's in a big room and he's got the desk set up. I am in a pretty big room and I have a little desk set up, but I'm in a little corner back against the wall, and it's just funny how the lighting and everything makes it look bigger, quite a bit bigger. I think.
I'm in the smallest bedroom of the house.
Yeah, with the lingering aroma of tacos.
Yes.
Yep.
It's almost gone.
Good. All right. Well, I'll be down shortly then. I've been just waiting for the taco smell to clear up in that room before I come.
Yeah, there's a bed over here now. That was the deal. I couldn't have like my own little gunroom studio. I had to be like people had to be able to sleep there and crap. Like,
yeah,
whatever.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I'll be there in a bit then. Anyhow, so with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks everyone for spending some time with us this evening. The Gun Snob, Flying Rich, Gary was there for a bit. Rod popped in. Andy Parrish Outdoors. Ghost was here. I mean, we actually had a pretty good. Oh heck, even Obnoxious was here. We had a good.
Everybody was doing drive-bys.
Yeah, we had a good run of people popping in and saying hi. So thanks to everyone for that. Please check us out next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back on here doing this again. We'll have some more cool stuff to talk about. Until then, hold on. I'm supposed to do the outro thing.
Oh, yeah, you do the outro.
I'm getting so ahead of myself. We got all this new fancy options in here, and I forget about them until it's like, okay, when am I going to do this? All right, so here's what we'll do. We'll do the see at the range and the finger thing, and then we'll go into the outro video, and I'll try to time it so we shut down right as that's ending.
Okay.
It's probably not going to work right, but
no, it's not going to work right.
Until next week, we'll see you at the range.